there. If you're building a high level program, a coaching offer, you have a service business, related business, and you're still relying on only social media to be seen and to generate leads, we need to talk. I'm Pat Fenner, a podcast producer, editor, and podcast growth coach, and I'm here to talk to you about using podcasting in your business. Because a podcast isn't just about visibility, it can become your most powerful lead generator. And it's not about being heard, it's about being chosen. Now, I know some of you have never considered a podcast before. Some of you think it's too technical. I get that. Some of you assume that you have to show up on YouTube every week or every day in full glam and makeup and costume and all that stuff. And none of that's true. So today, I want to open up your mind to see what's possible. A podcast is not about talking into a microphone, even though that's what I'm doing. It's about generating or creating an ecosystem of trust. Podcasts build long-form authority far deeper than a reel or even a post. Reels and stories, of course, come and go. The podcast is evergreen. It attracts buyers that are already aligned with your expertise. So if people are looking for a health coach or a life coach or a lawyer even, they know that's what they're looking for, and they're looking for you. You pop up. It warms up high ticket leads before they ever book a call. That's what you really want, right? You don't want just tire kickers calling to see what your price is. And it positions you as a guide, not a hustler, not just a snake oil salesman. Podcasting can become a predictable lead engine for your high-ticket education programs, not just another visibility channel. Let's break that down simply. People binge before they buy. People will look around, right? Kick some tires before. But when they find your podcast, and if they like the first episode, they're going to go ahead and do the second one and the third one, and then they'll binge on your content, which is pre-qualifying themselves, because by the end of whatever you have out there, they're thinking, yeah, I think I can work with this person. I'd like to work with this person. So they come into sales conversations already trusting you. But now let me broaden your view of what a podcast really is. Okay, so we can see how it is important, how we can use it strategically, although we'll get into a little more strategy later. But there are a couple of ways that you can use it. One of them is the traditional RSS feed, the audio podcast. That's what the benefit of that, of course, is that it's called non-intrusive, right? People can stick in their earbuds, they can go for a walk, they can put groceries away, fold laundry, whatever, and listen to your content. The downside, of course, is it's not visual in an increasingly visual society that we're living in. Second one is video. Now, everybody's hyped on video these days. The benefit of it, of course, is that it's trending. But the con side to that, the side you also have to consider, is that it does require a higher level of production. There's a higher level of editing, higher level of recording, even just to make something look the MVP, minimally viable product. But then the other thing that's really important to consider before you decide to take the dive into a video podcast is that where my audience is? And that's all part of the strategy that we talk about together, because not everyone is looking for a video podcast. So that's one thing to consider. Another format is a private podcast. These are great to offer as freebies to build community. Rather than giving that long PDF, you can record all the content, and give it away as a private podcast. They're terrific for onboarding high-ticket clients. So that's really important for private podcasts, and that requires a little bit less too of a production level. So similar to this idea is the limited edition or capsule podcast. My client Anne a while back built one with only 5 episodes to highlight her teaching style as a Bible study leader, and she was looking to build a career, to launch a speaking career, and teaching to other churches and for other clients. And so she would package that up and send that to people as part of her package. Guesting strategy is another option as well. You don't need to have your own podcast. You can appear as a guest on other aligned podcasts, which is really important that they're aligned. You don't want to be on random shows But you will be reaching audiences that are already warmed by someone else. And it's a fast authority transfer, because when you're on a podcast of someone in your niche that is known and respected, that authority transfers, that trust transfers to you. So it's great when you're getting started to do that. But as we're building strategy, we don't want to start with what platform should I use. Okay, those are all different ways that you can incorporate podcasting and formats of podcasting. But you start with, what outcome do I want this to create in my business? That's how we start building the strategy. So it's really, where are you in your business, and where's your business, and where do you want to go? That helps you decide what format are we going to use. And here are some other pieces to that strategy. We want to attract the right listeners. I know it's very easy to look at numbers, right? How many downloads do I have? How many views? What are the eyeballs on my videos, or who's listening to my audio? But it's not so much the numbers as it is the right people, the right listeners. And that's what we want to focus on. You want to tie your episodes to offers. Every episode should have a call to action. It should be offering a resource. It should give the listener or the viewer a next step. You need to repurpose intentionally. You can take one episode and put that in an email, or pull out some of the transcript for the email. You can use clips and put them in your social. You can explain a framework. Perhaps one of your episodes is talking about a framework you've developed. Well, that could become a workshop. Like, you could build a workshop on that. If you like this framework, watch this workshop. And that could be your paid offer. You take your best content and you make it into an entire paid program. And, those are all ways of repurposing the one episode, the work that you've already done, the work you've already created. So in other words, like, your podcast shouldn't live on an island. It should be directly connected to your sales. And the clearer you are with the strategy you build, the easier that becomes, and it snowballs. Okay. If you're thinking, okay, Pat, I see where this can work. I see where this could be a part of my business strategy, but or a business strategy, but how would this work for my business strategy? That's why I've created for you the Authority Strategy Intensive. Here's how it works. Now, I want to be clear. This is not tech setup. This is not teaching you how to edit. This is even not setting up production for your particular show. It's a strategic revenue mapping session, and you'll walk away with stress testing your idea within your business model. Before you invest thousands in production, we make sure it's aligned with your offer, with your buyer, with your bandwidth, with your business goals and your revenue goals. The right format, depending on those goals, what format would work best for your business. We'll talk about a lead engine plan tied to that offer. So how will that work? Who will we be pulling in? How will we be pulling people in? We'll develop a positioning angle that differentiates you from the pack. You don't want to be just like anybody else, right? What makes you special, different, unique? And everyone has that special sauce. What's your special sauce? And then a 90-day action roadmap. Now, if you're watching this, it means you've already registered for the Mastery Monetize Summit. And so I've created a special price for you. For $750, you'll walk away with clarity, a strategy, and a roadmap that could save you years of guessing, and all those items I spoke about just earlier. So if you're ready to build authority that compounds, and not just content that disappears in 24 hours, let's talk. Book your Authority Strategy Intensive while you can. There are limited seats available for that. Use the link in the description, and let's get moving, because your voice deserves more than a scroll, and your message matters, my friend. Take care.